So Justine, how do you feel about the future of AI as it stands?
Broadly speaking, I'm absolutely blown away by AI and think it will be an extraordinarily and is an extraordinarily transformative technology that will change everything. And it has the power to do tremendous good, but it also has the risk that it could do tremendous harm. So I'm sort of both awestruck but nervous. And I fear that regulators in particular are going to be way behind the curve, and that once again, big tech is going to be sort of making all the moves on this stuff, and big tech is driven by profit.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us, we may have thought, in rosy times a few years ago that was not the case, and there were other motives at hand, like do no evil and all this kind of stuff. But actually, they're just big companies that have a profit motive.
Yeah.
And therefore, I think it is dangerous to let them waltz untrammeled over this AI environment, and it's so I'm a bit nervous about it.
Justine, you're suing tech giants over AI. What's at stake for Mumsnet, but what's at stake for businesses in general in what's happening with AI right now?
Yeah. Okay. So we are pursuing a legal claim against OpenAI specifically.
Right. First in the UK, right?
First in the UK, yeah, for copyright, breach of copyright, and various other kind of technical legal stuff that's around copyright. And this is because we were aware that they have been crawling across our website and lifting the content and ingesting it into their models, which is the most famous of which is ChatGPT. And that is against our terms and conditions, and it's against UK copyright law. But they've been pretty out there, as all the big tech AI companies have been, in saying that they need to ingest the contents of the web to build their models, and they don't feel they should have to pay for it.
It's convenient.
Yeah.
What a great line.
Yeah. So someone needs to really, they need to, the legal case needs to be proven, because at the moment they're just riding roughshod over it, and they're growing so fast, they're raising so much money, they're going as fast as they can. They're just tying up any complainant in kind of legal knots. What's at stake, I think, is, we've all seen, and you go to Google now, you'll see the AI overview at the top if you put something into Google. What's at stake is that if they're allowed to just lift content that creators are making, and then they're allowed to put it into models that mean they can give the answers to the questions that people put into search or wherever, it means that people won't need to go to those websites which are creating the content. So ultimately they will die, because obviously the reason people create content is to get viewers and eyeballs so they can monetize them one way or another. So that they will dry up. Ultimately, the large language models will, the irony is they need this content, so they really ought to find a way of paying for it, or at least licensing it in some way, or at least creating some kind of value exchange. So at the moment, we all let Google scrape us, right? Because we know Google will drive traffic to us when we're listed in their search results. But with AI, you don't get any of that benefit. They're not acknowledging you. They're not driving traffic to you. They're not paying for anything, except for a few big publishers who I presume have threatened legal action. But we don't know what they're paying, and it's not a widespread ecosystem to pay for content. So it's existential, I think, to a lot of smaller publishers. In a funny kind of way, Mumsnet's in a better position than most, because we offer more than just editorial content. It's really human interaction you come to Mumsnet for. But nonetheless, it really pissed me off when I discovered that they were crawling us. We actually entered into licensing talks with them, and they after some time thinking about it, and we signed an NDA, and we gave some data about what we had and stuff like that. They showed a lot of interest, They came back and said, no, we're interested in less open sources of data, which I took to mean anything they couldn't steal.
Yes.
So that really pissed me off.
So sorry, just for clarity, you were in negotiations with them to pay you.
Yes, to license our content.
Yeah.
There are lots of good reasons why I think the AI models, I've already said, I think AI's a tremendous technology. It's going to be a huge breakthrough. I mean, you probably use it as much as I do already. I use it several times a day, ChatGPT. It's transformative, I think,
Completely.
in efficiency and all the rest of it. I think it's really important that female voices are reflected. There's a lot of examples of gender bias coming out of these models. So we are very interested in the models ingesting what I think is 6 billion words of incredibly high quality conversational data by women. Mumsnet's 98% written by women. So there are lots of reasons why I would love them to ingest their models. And it's not just about money. It's about correcting gender bias. To ingest our content. So, yes, we were in conversation. We are also in conversation with a couple of others as well about that. But what I don't think they should be doing is just simply being able to, because they're big tech, do what they like and steal content and ingest it and not pay for it.
If you're doing business internationally, you should check out Wise Business, the app for doing things in other currencies. Wise Business is the only account you need to manage your company's international money with ease. You can pay and get paid in up to 40 currencies globally, without the headache of multiple accounts. Here's what makes Wise Business incredible. Fast payments, direct integration with platforms like Amazon and Stripe, and seamless connections to your accounting software. With real-time tracking and 24/7 security, your international finances stay protected and under control. Even better, there are no hidden fees, no marked up exchange rates, and no subscription costs to eat into your profits. You can get started with Wise in less time than it takes to make your morning cup of coffee, whether you're launching a new venture or scaling globally. To learn more about how Wise could work for your business, visit wise.com/business.
So you are a multi-company, multi-million-dollar successful entrepreneur. Do you think that entrepreneurs can be born or made?
I think entrepreneurs, we're all born very much with entrepreneurial spirit, because entrepreneurial spirit is creativity, and it's bringing together teams and being disruptive and being willing to fully express. So we're all born with that, and then it's beaten out of us. We go to school, and the schooling system was designed as a factory for factory workers. So ultimately it was designed to make you component labor. Yeah. Component labor is to be refined, to fit into someone else's machine, and to be a good little moving part in someone else's big machine. And that was the whole schooling system. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's what we needed at the time. However, let's look at a few things. If I go to school and I come home and it says highly disruptive, that's a bad thing. I go into the real world, highly disruptive, very good thing. Go to school, got somebody else to do the maths homework, that's cheating. Go my own company, got someone else to do maths homework.
It's delegation.
That's a CFO, right? I hired a good team member. We know that essentially the schooling system is getting rid of the things that make you a good entrepreneur. Don't be an attention seeker. Don't seek attention. Well, actually, if you're going to build a business, you need to get attention. So basically,
class clown kind of thing,
yeah,
just for trying to garner attention to itself.
Totally. And then plenty of people who are class clowns are now multimillionaires because they were able to capture people's attention. So I think everyone's born a variation of an entrepreneur. We do need certain skills. We do need to get those entrepreneurial skills. Unfortunately, we have a schooling system that is a long-term schooling system designed to remove those disruptive skills. If you were an industrialist in 1890, you do not want lots of entrepreneurial people running around.
You want workers.
You want workers.
And I think it's a remarkable thing, but all of my entrepreneur friends, all of the people I know in the game are the C students.
Yeah.
They are the C and D students. Like, I was terrible at school.
Yeah. I was awful at school. The
thing that the deputy head called me in for, sat down with my dad and said, your son is intellectually asleep. And my dad was like, I just think he's interested in other things. Yeah. And I was already selling things on the side. And so I feel like you're being trained for the wrong thing.
And it's even worse now that we have AI.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, the schooling system teaches you to be a large language model, that I prompt you and you give me a hallucinated response. right? So essentially, that's what I'm training you to be an LLM. But what we need to do is train people to be good at prompting. So rather than a kid learning how to deliver a hallucinated response, they learn how to think through a problem where they can actually prompt the world and get back the responses and work with a big picture context and then fill in the content through other sources. So we at some point, we're going to have to flip the whole education system on its head, where we acknowledge in the same way we have calculators, we don't need to, we're going to say, well, we have LLMs, it's easier to prompt something and get a hallucinated response.
Yeah, it's a 19th century education taught by 20th century teachers to 21st century kids.
Yeah.
It's completely messed.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
Want to know what kills big deals faster than anything? Security compliance. Honestly, it's a headache, and I don't know anyone who likes doing it. But there is a solution. One that makes security compliance easy. Vanta. Think of Vanta as your compliance wizard. They automate everything for SOC 2 and ISO 27001, turning complex security requirements into a simple, streamlined process. Over 8,000 companies, from startups to giants, trust Vanta to handle their compliance. Use Vanta so you don't get slowed down by security paperwork and focus on what matters, growing your business. Visit vanta.com/secret leaders now and get $1,000 off your first year.
Dom, what is your perspective on AI managers then? You mentioned them a couple of times. So what's your view on them?
I think there's a place in the market for them, because I think there's such an enormous number of creators starting out, and some of them will go on to be brilliant creators as well. Then why not resource them as much as we can to start with and make sure that they get income to not have to give up and go back to their day job? Because there's that tipping point where you have to, if you're going to do anything worthwhile, you're going to be dedicating 24/7 of your time to it. I think there's lots of things that an AI manager can't do, and there are some things that an AI manager can do. I think the risks are that we're going to have there are going to be some terrible decisions made and awful contracts agreed on and all of those kind of things, but it'll be a means to an end as well. So I think they have their place.
Did you see, obviously you used to manage her. We're both, are you an investor in Tala?
No.
Okay, so that's a bit different. Obviously, we both know her. You used to manage her. I'm an investor in her company. Did you see, in Tala, sorry. Mm-hmm. Did you see Grace Beverley's new business, the AI manager?
Yes, I did.
What do you think about that one in relation to other ones you've seen, or what is their unique selling point about that versus others?
So I can't talk really knowledgeably about it because I haven't explored the platform or been, I haven't explored the platform. Plus, that is the only AI manager that I know of.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And so all of my comments are based on hearing that, watching Grace's podcast, launching it, hearing the rest of the marketplace talk about it and give me their opinions on it. And I've kind of taken on board all of that to form my own opinion of it, which is it's got a place in the market. There's lots of things it won't be able to do. There's lots of things that it's going to help with as well.